common denominator for so many issues you could find in a commercial property inspection. Not being able to control your water is surely a great opportunity to have material damage to your building, maybe even leasability issues to your spaces. Sometimes when you're doing your commercial property inspections, you have to have a little context of where you're at. We are looking at a building right now in the desert. We're in a 12-story high-rise building with 17,000 square foot of roof space. But being in a desert, we don't have a tremendous amount of hydration. We might be in other areas of the country that have much more hydration, many more rain effect days. So that can go a long way to creating your context. I've walked around the exterior of this building and I could not find any places where my roof drainage evacuates to the ground level. So because of that, I can only deduce or surmise that my drainage is being controlled internally into a sewer system. As part of your inspection, you could always ask a person of knowledge, that building maintenance engineer, that's somebody in charge of that building, to help guide you through that process. But it is important when you're on the roof to look at all the contextual clues to how that drainage is being controlled, whether it's done through scuppers, through built-in drains, or through guttering and downspouts. In our particular case, I've walked the entire perimeter of this building and did not find any scuppers. I also didn't see any areas on the outside of the building, on the facade, where water was cascading down. So therefore, my drainage is built in. So with that, we need to identify what does the built-in drainage look like? And is it controlling the water that is falling on this roof from just these roof events? So let's take a look at that drain next. We've looked at all 17,000 square foot of this roof. We didn't see scuppers. We know that there's built-in drains. And so we need to take a look at how effective that built-in drain is. Now, in a modern building, most built-in drains have a primary and secondary drain. The primary drain is there at an elevation to dewater the roof, and it does it very effectively. And then adjacent to it would be a secondary drain that if there's ever a hydration event that's too strong for the primary drain, the secondary drain would take the overflow water, or if this drain ever failed, the secondary drain would take over the dewatering of the roof. But in this particular case, this building is old enough and we're in the desert that doesn't get enough water that we only have a primary drain. This pipe that's next to us is actually a vent pipe and not part of the roof drain. When looking at the roof drain, we want to look for moisture. We want to make sure it's dewatering, but it also should have a screening material. As you'll see in this case, our screening materials failed. My guess is somebody stepped on it or something impacted it, shattered it, which is now going to allow our ballast to fall into it, which could conceptually block this and render this ineffective. And so you definitely want to identify this, note that defect so that your client can put a simple new cap on top of it. But it should also trigger one more thing, is in your mind, how much ballast or river rock has fallen down this hole. Because ultimately, you're going to trace this pipe all 12 stories of this building, noting approximately where each one of these roof drains is on the interior, because you're going to be looking for moisture there as well. You're going to conclude your roof drainage 12 more times for each drain that we have as we're cascading down all 12 stories of this building. It's a game of connect the dots. We're going to connect floor by floor by floor by floor all the way down to where we evacuate the building. You're not required to look at any pipes that aren't readily accessible, but knowing approximately that I have a drain in this quadrant and looking for stains, or a drain in that quadrant looking for stains as I go down that building will help me put those puzzle pieces together so I can tell that story to my client. You are not required to actually look at that underground pipe as it might exit to the sewer because we did not see any pipes on the ground on the first floor. We could only surmise they're evacuating into the main sewer, but however, we are going to look for stains as we go through the building. So looking at the drainage is important, and it's important to follow it to all those places because this simple roof drain could manifest a problem on the first floor, 12 stories below us, or somewhere up here on the 12th floor. Understand where your scope is and follow the water is the most important element of a roof drain inspection.